everybody. How are you? June the 6th, the first show of June. Um, how are you all getting on? I'm getting hit hard by hay fever at the moment. It is the bane of my summer existence because I love summer, but my eyes have been taking a battering. How are you all? Who are you watching for the first time, or are you a regular here? Hey up, the jingle of a Tuesday morning. Hi Dan, how you doing, mate? And there's Chris. All right, bud. Morning, kidder. Where's the year gone? Good morning. Very true, Danny. Good to see you. Hey Nick, how you doing? Happy Tuesday, Mr. T. Good to see you. Chris, hello, mate. Good morning. Morning, morning, all. Get an injection. Oh, can you really? £65. There you go. I'm there. I might leave now. Hi, Neris. Morning, Scott. How are you doing, Danny? Today I've been mostly eating Benadryl. Hey, David. How you doing? Slam Duggan's here. Vishal. Good morning. Now, good morning. I can't see who you are, but Danny Wareham, our IT support, can tell you how to change your settings so that we can see who you are, or I can see you. You all can. I can't. Marianne, morning from the Welsh Wizard. From Reading. I know a song about Reading. That's where I went to uni. I won't sing it now. It's funny that a few of you have been mentioning. Morning, Joe. Morning, morning, Joe. I'm very sorry that Tottenham have taken your manager. I'm not. I'm very happy. Turn it off, turn it back on again. There's our IT covered. Right then. Some of you have already said a few of these. I was having a conversation with a friend of the show. I don't know if he's watching today, but a friend of the show, Clayton, who you all know, yesterday, and we stumbled upon one of Clayton's nicknames. G'day, Luke. Hello, mate. Luke is also right behind Tottenham's new manager, being a fellow Aussie. Now, so let's all get to know each other a little bit better. What is your nickname? Some of you have used a couple of mine already. When I was at school, it was always Teasy from Teesdale. But then going into the working world, it's always been MT, just my initials, or Mr. T, because obviously me and BA Baracus from the A team share a lot of similarities. So what's your nickname? Now, I am not going to share Clayton's. I'm going to let him tell you that either today or when you meet him in private. Maybe in private might be better. But what nickname are you known by now, or have you been known by? So let's get to know each other a little bit. Here we go. So Neris is Nelly. In fact, I'm only Neris in work. There we go. Luke is Dobbo. G'day, Dobbo. I think I said this earlier. Chris, the legend Rainsforce, is Pud. We're off to a flying start. We have Nelly, Dobbo, and Pud. It sounds like a children's TV show. Tinky Winky, Nelly, Dobbo, Pud. So David is DP. Also going with the initials, same as me, MT or Mr. T. You ever called Mr. P, David? DP. High and really unimaginative from Mark Ibbotson. Ibbo. I like that though. Always got to go with a surname. So Marianne's coming in. As a child, Ziggy from TLC days, Welsh Wizard. Other than that, M. Oh, that's cool. That's very cool, Marianne. Here we go. I'm looking forward to this one. Craig Truns. After a terrible photo in the Bristol Evening Post of me playing football with my hair highlighted like Lee Trundle, we've got to see the picture, Craig. I want to see that at some point. Are you as skillful as him? Very skillful player. Chris, in school, it was a play on my surname. I was Mince. Thankfully, it didn't stick. We've also got from Chris, the Yorkshire Flipper, because I have the body hair content of a porpoise. Now, we are all taken into a place in our imagination, Chris, that I don't know if all of us want to go to. Yeah, Mr. P2 said, Dave. Slam Duggan. Rich and Nathan are both here. Good. Um, keeping it street. D Dubs. Nice. Basically, initials and only used in basketball circles. Danny D Dubs wear them. Let's go. Slam Duggan. Yes, Phil. Ah, the rare sunshine's here. Beverage. That's a good one. So, Scott, Lee Trundle is a local legend down here in Swansea. Due to my follicular growth, I managed to pick up the nickname Chewbacca. That's great, Scott. Blair, oh, straight in, minimalist. B, I love it. Never had one. Everyone just goes straight in with a Dave. My dad's called Dave, and everyone knows a Dave, and I think that's a good thing, Dave. So don't worry. Too early for that mental image, Chris. Too early. The the body hair of a porpoise, Chris Rains. Well, we are obviously all getting to know each other um, a hell of a lot better through this. But let's move on to the question of the day. Hold on. My dad's called Dave too. There's another similarity there, Chris, isn't it? That name, I wonder though if that name is going to be dying out. I hope not. We need some babies that are called Dave. Have a guy I used to work with called Daisy because some days he works, other days he doesn't. Oh, if you ever get a chance, there's a radio show in New Zealand, I think it is, and they share on TikTok. People call in and do nicknames, and it is brilliant. It's hilarious. Um, so I love that one, Danny. Absolutely love it. Now then, hold on. I could keep going with these all day, to be honest. Also, not so much of a nickname. Thanks to Austin Powers, my name was yelled rather than spoken. Scott. Yeah, films have a lot to answer for, don't they? But thank you. Thank you for that, Chewy. Okay, so let's go to the question. Scotty, don't. When we think of, here's the question for today, okay? And I'm relying on your knowledge and your expertise to turn this into the usual high level debate. So, when it comes to mental health support and provision, how is our industry doing? I can see from who's watching that some of us have been in the industry a long time. And I can remember when I came in, it was non-existent. In fact, it was absolutely not used as it was never spoken about really. And if it was very derogatory and in a minority. I was lucky enough to judge. I think it was about 6 or 7 years ago, and brilliant presentation. And it was one of the first instances of mental health first aiders being used. And the impact was the number of instances of people talking about mental health as a reason for being off ill skyrocketed. And this project team had to go back to the leaders of the business and basically explain themselves because the leaders were saying, well, hold on, we've now got mental health first aiders, but mental health, numbers of mental health sickness has gone through the roof. And of course, they very calmly, under pressure, rightly said, it's because now people are telling the truth. But I'd love to get your views on when it comes to mental health support and provision, how is our industry doing? Um, there's a lot of talk about this, and I think it's great that it's out in the open. Where I used to work, BPA Quality were always on the front foot about this. But I'd love to get your views. Keep your thoughts coming in. So Danny is kicking us off poorly. All industries and society are doing poorly. It's still treated in isolation. We recognize physical health is really complex: fitness, nutrition, flexibility, immune system, etc. But we seem to see mental health as you need a break and you'll be fine. Um, very true. So I love the comment, the point there, Danny, about the complexity of how we look at both physical health versus mental health. Morning, Steve. How you doing? So here comes Chris. I think it's better than it was from an awareness perspective, but we are doing what we always do as an industry and trying to apply technology, statistics, and data to it. And we run the risk of forgetting about the human. Yeah, really, really interesting point, Chris, and great perspective. How do we bring the human into this? Um, Vishal is a mental health first aider. Things are still not good. It's quiet, poor, and people still don't open up as they're scared of losing their jobs. So it's a really stark point there from Vishal. Thank you, mate. And thanks for what you do as a mental health first aider. The NHS cannot handle mental health. So whatever we can do will be a step up, says David. I know that getting, maybe this is something to think about, getting access to the right services to help people over and above what our responsibilities are within work um, is a challenge, isn't it? So Dan, can't speak for the industry. However, we're doing a phenomenal amount to do as much as we can, but it's hard. It's night and day versus how I remember entering the working world, and that's true. I absolutely, and then just but so much more to do. I absolutely think that it is night and day from what it was before. But I really like some of the points here that we are still yet to cover the complexity of mental health, and also that we are thinking that there's a quick solution through technology, statistics, as Chris said, and we're trying to apply that rather than looking at and talking to our leaders about how they can have really meaningful mental health conversations. Um, Mental health and employee welfare overall is actually part of the Health and Safety at Work Act 1974. Just as employers have a duty of care to keep employees safe from toxic physical environments, they also have the same responsibilities for mental health and have done for 50 years. Uh, Yes, it's a very salient reminder, Danny, isn't it, that this has been in place for some time, and measured against that, you would question how well we've done. But Nelly, is saying that we're doing better than ITV. Very topical. It is getting better, and COVID acted as a catalyst for accelerating this. I would agree with that, Nelly. I know that I think what COVID did was made companies really consider the individuals within their organization and their individual circumstances, because we were having to step into their homes, and maybe that made it easier to talk about their environment and their mental health, whereas previously we'd made this distinction, things, sayings like leave your troubles at the door when you come into work, and just get on with the job. That was how I was brought up in a working environment. Was if people were talking about things going on, I mean, I'm a very compassionate person, but it was used as a stick against me, actually, that I wore my heart on my sleeve and I was too nice. But we were certainly told, just, bat that off if you can. People are here to work. We don't want to hear it. And things have changed, and COVID definitely accelerated that. Let me catch up. Sorry, guys. Chris, I think there's a lot of support out there, a lot of awareness, very true. But how easy is it to access? Sometimes just getting through the day is tough enough, but having to potentially jump through hoops to get support is too much. We need to be more proactive in picking up the early warning signs. Very, very true. And I think, asking people, even with the best will in the world, we say, if you need anyone, if you need help, you can always talk to me. You're asking someone that is finding it a struggle to control their emotions, to do something that is very difficult, to reach out and say, "Hello, I'm struggling." So I think you're dead right. Support is increased, awareness is increased, but we still have a lot to do. Marianne M, the Welsh Wizard. I think some companies that have come a long way and are trying their best to work on it and learn what they should be doing, but they need help. However, there are a lot of companies that are well behind on this, and that they say they're focusing on this. However, it's not their priority. These companies need to get their act together. It's very true, isn't it, Marianne? You still hear of toxic organizations who get their social media teams or marketing teams to post about the current mental health awareness day or whatever it may be. Yet when you talk to people working there, they will tell you that is just like a North Korean shop on a tour. It's just a front, and then behind it, there's no food at all. Hey, Morris. I think we are still seeing most organizations just playing lip service. We do not train people, we do not train enough people in mental health. Very, very true. The fact that we are talking about, thank you, Morris. The fact we're talking about it right now on this platform is a million miles from where we were just a few years ago. Much to do, but a real want from seniors to change the status quo. Very true, Truns. Very true. I have no shame in admitting that personally, 8 years ago, I entered into therapy thanks to BPA Quality, where I was working, because my marriage breakdown and divorce at the time sent me into a spin, and I was treated for depression. And it's one of the best things that I ever did, because I learned about my brain. Self awareness is a superpower. And then I felt it's important for me. Then I was a director at BPA. I felt it was important for me to talk to everyone else about it, to let people know, what, you can still be, in inverted commas, successful, and sort of from a perception point of view seem to be doing well, but actually have a struggle of your own from a mental health point of view. And it's always struck me as strange that we wait until the crisis point before we start looking at getting our brains and our thoughts in the healthiest place possible. It's a real shame that we can't give people therapy as is, the same way, to Danny's point earlier, that we look at the gym and nutrition, and there's so many provisions out there that we can't do the same for mental health. But let me catch up. Grace, hello, Grace. As a mental health first aider, I agree with many of the other viewers that awareness is growing, and I do believe that organisations are attempting to put procedures in place, including charity events and raising awareness. However, some companies need to be careful not to view mental health first aiders as a tick box that demonstrates that they're advocating for mental health. Instead, how are you going to use them effectively? Such a great point, Grace. Thank you. Is Jordan. Sorry I'm late. Crazy morning. I found that when people join a business, they say we have all this support, etc. No idea on how to access it, though. No such issues in the current workplace. That's great to hear, and no surprise, Jordan. But you make a really good point. Morris, we talk about talking, which is a challenge when you're struggling. Yeah, that's just, yeah, I was saying, we need to become more proactive in intervention and support. Oh, thank you, Marianne. I have no problem talking about it. It was some time ago. I think it will always be there. But like I say, the therapy I went through for 6 months was the best thing, one of the best things I ever did. Um, Mental health first aid is a double-edged sword. It risks delegating all responsibility to a specific person group and removing accountability from the employer. Very true, Danny. And I think there's something we need to do. Naturally, I have an affinity with team leaders. I think there's something we need to do where we train people on having um, really effective conversations about this. Um, Hello, love the raw honesty, brother. Leading from the front as always. Thank you very much, mate. Um, Signposting to professionals and knowing who those professionals are is the core role of mental health first aiders. True, and I think it's it's very revealing sometimes that a lot of employees do not know that through employee assistance programs they often have access to help, and it's not shared enough. Now, Scott, we're doing better as an industry, but there is still a long way to go. I'm a mental health first aider and held a session last year, and two-thirds of anonymous attendees said they'd claim to be fine even when they are having a bad day. I think companies can offer a plethora of support mechanisms, but it is still that societal stigma that is still preventing people from asking for this help. Very, very true. Very true. And we still need to do more, don't we, Scott? And thanks again for what you're doing there. Danny, a major company shared a video yesterday shouting about how many mental health services they offer employees and all the support available. This same company's budget cycles mean that they always announce redundancies in Mental Health Awareness Month every year. This is the issue. If it's not considered important enough across the business, wow, that's crazy, isn't it? And you do wonder, don't you, with companies kind of feeling the pinch, or at least saying they're feeling the pinch, is it this type of support that is one of the things that is affected negatively? Dave, I see lots of companies on my job hunt offer third-party mental health helplines, and I'm always wary that they consider that the end of it. Yes, it's very true. And again, it's to this point that I think there's a common theme, isn't there, Dave, with what we're all saying here, that we need some real depth, that we don't just need the sticking plaster, whilst it is good, and recognizing that we've made big jumps, there's still a long way to go. Um, Nick, talking about these things is one thing, but actually taking action is another. A lot of the initiatives that are so well needed cost in both time and money, things which are often scarce in contact centers. We need to do more in prioritizing the health of our employees. If you think about our frontline colleagues, even before, when I started, everyone knew this is a real challenge mentally. The role is challenging mentally, right? So we need to do what we can and more. So thank you, Nick. Phil, okay. We've rolled out quite a successful program here. Interesting. We have a team of around 20 mental health first aiders that are encouraged to be proactive in spotting changes in people's behavior and have been able to help support any issues before they arise. Brilliant. They're there to be the first port of call, then signpost from there, and we found it to be incredibly effective for us. Brilliant. Thank you, Phil. And I'm sure by sharing that comment, people can contact you and find out what you're doing. And I'm sure you're happy to share that, knowing what you and the guys at ECO are like. Danny, what I meant was everyone in the organization from finance to frontline needs to be aware of mental health. Okay, sorry. Restructures might be unavoidable, but change your cycles if you're really serious about mental health. Yes, very true. Dan, Dan from the lovely Nespresso. Whilst we can train, and we do, it's a very complex matter and access to professionals. Taking physical health as an example, I'd suggest getting a PT over me telling you about a fad diet. Very true. EAP services need a serious rebrand to make sure people use these tools rather than viewing them with suspicion. Really good point. I 100% agree. I'm always amazed when you see the stats of how EAP services, the percentage of uptake is very, very low, isn't it? It's very low. Um, I think it would help if fewer companies would talk about feeling the pinch. That in itself can worry individuals far removed from the purse strings. And I guess then, Bev, that means a responsibility around communication and the impact that that is having on everyone's mental health. I think as well, it was Stephen Yap in the last podcast that's out now, actually, that said he quoted Emma Dark from Estee Lauder saying we're still in this kind of post-pandemic hangover, and we've come from the pandemic into cost of living and all of this type of thing, and this is having an impact. And we need now more than ever, we need to really look at our mental health support. Um, that said, we can always do more. This is from Phil, and the more we understand about triggers and different people's situations, the better place we are to support them. It all boils down to culture. If there's a culture that respects mental health from the top down, then you've got the foundation for a supportive business. If there are a few people that don't get it or play it down, then you've got a problem and a broken system. Ah, thank you, Bev. Yeah, excellent episode of Get Out of Rap. That's Stephen Yap's one that's out at the moment. He was brilliant. Okay, great input as well, guys. And I wonder, let me just cut. How about training and developing your managers to know and understand their people, making the environment a comfortable one where people can be themselves and they are happy to talk to their managers. This is from Marianne. In our company, we are open and our people can express themselves and talk openly about themselves, which they do. And that includes me, and my people were very supportive to me at the end of last year when I had two operations, one team helping each other. What a lovely, lovely comment, Marianne. And we all followed your journey, giving you lots of love and hope, and it was inspirational. Um, and so true, it's about developing our team members. But to Dan's point, Dan Curran's point, we have to recognize we're not experts, and perhaps that's what we need is more experts. So brilliant comments, everybody. It is time for a little VT. I need your help again, your input. It is time for your input. So if you're watching for the first time, please follow these instructions. You can hold your phone up to the QR code or go to menti.com and enter this code 45309947. So that's go to menti.com, go to 45309947. And I'm going to ask you a question. I make no apology for the fact that I'm asking this question because I want to use this in the team leader community. Here's the question. For the leaders you've had who've had the biggest impact on you individually, the first thing you think of when you think of their name is their kindness, the opportunities they gave you, how motivational they were, how good at communicating with you they were, their knowledge, or other. And if it's other, please comment on LinkedIn. I've forgotten the I've forgotten the options because of the. Let's get some votes in. So, when you think of the leaders that have had the biggest impact on you, what's the first thing you think about? So we have a mixed bag of results coming in. How motivational they were is winning at the moment, followed by the opportunities they gave you, how good at communicating with you they were. Their knowledge and other is last, and no one has so far has voted for their kindness or their empathy. Interesting to see this, because I guess I when I thought of putting this question together, I had a couple of people in my mind who actually gave me different things, right? But they were in this series of answers. So, oh, now it's a dead heat. The opportunities they gave you and how motivational they were. Interesting, isn't it? Interesting. Is this because you were aspirational. If you were less aspirational, mm, I don't know. This is very, very, very interesting. As always, I love the fact that you guys just take part. So thank you very much. I'm going to go to the comments in case I've missed anything. Um, Blair, sorry, I missed a I think it's clear that training never stops to this. This is about the thank you, B, for the mental health. It's a constant evolution as we become more educated. Now, Danny's put other. They challenged my limiting beliefs and made me think about something differently. Disruptive could have been the one, couldn't it? Disruptive would have been in there. Morris, managers I could trust being so important. B again, how good a coach they were to help me get better. Good, fascinating. I was frustrated with one peer who always seemed to be loafing. My manager asked, their team performs and loves them. What is it they do that you don't? Do you know what? There was another manager who worked alongside me who spent a long part of the day reading the paper, just chilling out, really. And once I'd gone from being judgmental to curious, when I became curious, I realized he delegated most of his tasks to his team and they loved it. So I took some of that on board. I couldn't have been, I liked work. So, but it was interesting. I went from judging him as a lazy so and so, much like you, Danny. And then I thought, what is he actually doing? How can he do everything? My first team leader was fantastic at keeping me in the loop and teaching me the ropes, gave me the foundation to build what I have today. Still friends to this day outside of work. Brilliant. Love it, Jordan. How they challenged my thinking and opened up new understanding. Again, this kind of disruptive element, isn't it? Lovely, lovely stuff. I think really interestingly, their kindness didn't feature at all. So a little lesson there. Don't be kind. Of course, that's not the. I think it's assumed, right? Okay, Phil. I always think of you because I know. Is this your favorite? Oh, you should stay tuned to the end. Okay, it's read a long time. Now, I kept saying for a long time we were stuck at 260, but because I'd forgotten, so I've checked. We are starting, this is on page 307. Use of SMS, oh, the read along. We're doing Contact Babel, Decision Makers Guide 2023 read along, and we are going straight into use of SMS for customer service. Let me just, if I missed anything. Oh, here we go. Sorry, guys. Other from Dave. She had my back. She advocated for me to be given opportunities, sure. But when I effed up and I did some big ones, she backed me in public, made it clear to me in private what I needed to learn. Brilliant. Looked after me, but developed me. I would drop my dream job at zero notice to work for her again. I know that feeling very well. Very well. Truns. The best manager I had was also the worst. He was always unavailable, never interested, and didn't attend meetings. What that meant was that I got plenty of interaction with more senior people, and my development, a sink or swim, turned out to be a springboard to progress and be successful at the next level. And I think, Craig, you spoke about that in your podcast, didn't you? A wonderful episode if you haven't listened to it. Love him. Right. So, use of SMS for customer service. So let's look at the average first. The average is that 42% of the respondents said we use it already. We've no plans to replace it. Another 11% said they use it now and they are looking to replace. So people are zeroing in on them. 21% said they don't have it. They're going to implement it within 12 months. Another 11% said we are going to implement it, but it'll be next year. 14% said we don't have it. We don't need it. We're not putting it in. And then another 2% said our favorite response, we don't know. So does that ring true with what you guys are seeing or using? Is that kind of, does that sit where you are from a text message point of view as a channel for customer service? Now, here's an interesting one. Use of video agents. I have to admit, I've never seen. Um, wait till you get to the end of the contact label guide. The elephant was really a spy. I can't wait now. We're getting there. Use of video agents by contact center size. So 9% say they use video agents already. Is anyone listening already using video agents? Hang on. I wondered whether I get to use this. Sorry, that was Hugo. Yeah, I must admit. So, if for large contact centers, 13% say they already use video agents. Is anyone watching use video agents? As you can see, the majority have no plans to implement. It doesn't seem like it's a thing. But I'd be really interested to hear from any of you, or if you know of anyone that is using video agents. Oh, Dan. Yes, love it. You video agents, yeah. Morris, I've done a few of video agent implementations in large scale. I would like to know more. Why do you think then, you two, and Vishal as well, we do at Datamatics? Why do you think there's such a high percentage introduced at Dyson Game Changer? Now, Craig, was that to help people go through repairs and things like that? Video agents felt like a bit of a quirky fad. The talk times are far longer, which few organizations are interested in. It was trialed at a company I know. It has a role in financial services and utilities. Why do you think there's such a high percentage not looking to introduce this? Cost? Maybe we come back to that. It's fascinating. Dobbo, video agents were the next big thing at a call center conference I attended in 1997. Yes, great year that was. Tottenham won a cup in that year. Went live in April for troubleshooting. Brilliant. Now, I have to say, Dan's customer experience for Nespresso is brilliant. And I know that firsthand because we went through a little test last week, didn't we, Dan? Yes, for repairs, you could see or hear the issue quickly, reduced average handle time, and improved first call resolution. Brilliant. It has some strong use cases for certain verticals. I've been informed and intrigued by you guys, so thank you very much for that. It's the whole purpose of this, really, isn't it? Moving on. Use of social media, mobile apps for customer contact. By far the greatest is Twitter. What I thought was interesting in this one is how low WhatsApp was. I wonder if this time next year, WhatsApp will see that higher. So this is use of social media, mobile apps for customer contact. Dan saying CSAT metrics is superb, and the conversions are far more personalized. Brilliant. Nick is saying there are a few digital DR companies that use it. Saves doctor that saves a trip down to the surgery. Ah, brilliant. What a great use. Were you also on this one, look, kind of WhatsApp at 16%? Is that a surprise? And do you expect that to rise? Now then, let's have a look at views on the role of artificial intelligence in the contact center. So you can't move at the moment without views on AI. So let's see what the largest survey in our industry says. So for the first statement, AI will be used to replace agents. You can see by far the higher percentage says they disagree or they strongly disagree. 29% were neutral. 7% said, yeah, we agree. AI will be used to replace agents. 4% said they strongly agree. Now, this is people within the industry, by the way. The second statement was AI will be used to support agents, and everybody agreed with that. And then the third one was AI will be unimportant to our industry. And you could see, bar 4% who were neutral, everyone disagreed with that. So when it comes to AI, this was the view of all of the respondents of the Contact Babel report. And does that tally with your view on AI? Does anyone disagree, for example, on the AI will be used to support agents? Because everyone agreed with that within the survey, which seems sensible. In an ideal world, from Danny, in an ideal world, AI will be used to enhance experiences and support advisors. In reality, any opportunity to cut costs is relished and taken advantage of by most organizations. True. If you can get the both together, that would be great, wouldn't it? If I was an agent now, I'd have a chat GPT thread with terms and conditions, template emails, etc. pasted in, and it would do a lot of my work. It's already supporting agents and will probably replace a good few when we integrate it. Yes, Dave. And I think, maybe we have this emotional connection, don't we? Dan, you would have been there with my favorite response, which isn't in this one. Who knows? Exactly. We're not mystic Megs. But Dave, this is very, very true, isn't it? So how do customers it could really help with interactive knowledge bases? Very true. How do customers perceive it? So this is views on how customers will perceive artificial intelligence in the contact center. So when customers, so this wasn't people from our industry, the Contact Babel did, I think it was a good couple of thousand customers, and they were given the statement, customers will always prefer human interactions. 20% disagreed. The majority agreed that customers will always prefer human interactions. And I think this is a fascinating slide. Artificial intelligence will have to be hidden from customers. The vast majority disagreed with that. People were like, you don't need to hide it. It's fine. We will interact with it. Only 7% agreed with that statement. You don't have to hide it. The next statement was customers just want their issues resolved as soon as possible. And of course, everybody agreed with that, apart from 7% who were like Switzerland and neutral. What about a generational split? So the last statement was older and younger generations will view AI differently. The vast majority of the respondents agreed with that. And it's interesting stuff there, isn't it? I think I was drawn to the one where it said artificial intelligence will have to be hidden from customers. Very, very interesting stuff, isn't it? Now, Morris, most people don't really understand the quick wins AI gives. Also, the suppliers tend to call everything AI. So true. Okay, now then, have we got time? I don't think we have time for the other slides, but I did say, especially Phil, I know you love a VT, so I have a new VT for you, okay? Get ready. Like that. Do you like that? A bit of old school hip hop in there. I might do it again. Okay, so it's let me just catch up. Great point from Morris. The broad landscape of AI now seems to be just discussed as LLMs and generative transformer models like ChatGPT. Not sure I've seen much that is business ready yet for the latter two. Danny agrees with you as well, Morris. So yes, Phil, good. I'm glad you love it. What a banger. Just keep it running. So I will do it one more time. So this is time for something brand new. It is a giveaway. Do you want to win one of these t-shirts? All you have to do is say yes in the comments. Everyone that says yes, I will put your name in a spinning wheel, and next week we will do it live. It's one of those random um, generator tombola type things. All you have to do is write the word yes in the comments, and I will enter you, and we'll draw it live next week to win a new Get Out of Rap t-shirt. It's on the back as well. So it's big and on the back. There'll be a few other things thrown into the mix. Sorry, my beard is molting. Um, but all you have to do is add yes. I will grab the names from the comments, and we will do the spinning wheel draw live next week, and then you can see who is going to win. Just noticed all kinds of bits of it's my beard. So, and if you're watching this recorded as well, you can still add your comment yes, and I will keep this open for a couple of days. Uh, Danny, yes, and I'm an extra medium. Okay. So Danny's very confident. He's putting it out in the universe there that he's saying he's going to win. So we'll have a bit of fun next week. There'll be a few other bits and bobs in the package for the winner as well. To be honest, it was just a chance for me to do another VT. But the t-shirts are very, very good quality, by the way. I changed the little supplier, so they're really, really good. All you have to do is type yes. If you're watching this recorded, uh, you can still do it. I'll keep it open for a couple of days. But again, everybody, thank you so much for all your contributions. We've had some lovely conversations. I feel like I know you a bit better now as well, um, with all your nicknames. We've got some work to do on mental health for sure, and some really interesting stuff. And as we got to page 320 on Contact Babel, so I am looking for. Hold on. Danny is going to wear his with a white tux. Yeah, if you've seen the pictures on LinkedIn, very nice white tux. It's been bought out again this weekend. No, Danny, it's mine, my precious. Okay, so thank you all. Have a lovely week. And of course, now I get to say I will see you all next Tuesday.